This week on the Fish Tank, Disney's done it again. Like a phoenix rising from the ashes, Star Wars has emerged from the land of cartoons and literature, only to conquer the cinemas once again. Hey everyone, I'm Garrett Hallfish. So unless you've been living under a rock, you all know that on Thursday, we had the release of Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens, a movie that I really like, which is saying a lot because I'm not a big Star Wars fan, and I think this might have changed that. So what I wanted to do is give you my top 7 for the Star Wars films. Now, please take it with a grain of salt, because I don't want you yelling that, oh, you're not a big fan, what do you know? But just enjoy it for what it is. Before I get into it, yes, we know the prequel trilogy is bad. There are a few main reasons for this. It's one, the CGI at the time was just, they shouldn't have done it. It wasn't good enough, so characters look like they're just floating in the world there. Also, just the acting was bad. I mean, even from some of the better characters like Liam Neeson, it just wasn't good. And then you had the annoying characters like Jar Jar Binks, famously. I mean, the fact that someone edited the movie to have Jar Jar Binks out and that exists to watch, that just is a testament for how annoying that character is. And then to focus the story around the politics of it, it's something that was in the background before. We just don't really care. It's not what we want to see. So keep that in mind. But we're going to go ahead and go into the top 7 of the Star Wars films, and I will give my best reasons for why I think these are in that order. Number 7, Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. So believe it or not, besides all of the crap that this movie brought to the Star Wars franchise, there were a few good things, a few good moments. The first time we see the Jedi Knights in this one, it was pretty cool. You see them doing a lot of fighting, and you see them use lightsabers in a way that we had never seen before. I mean, they're breaking in, and they're literally just trying to cut through this huge door. That was kind of cool. Up until they decide to force run out of there. I mean, one, it was just awkward to watch because all of a sudden it's like, zoo, the Flash. And the fact that you never see this again. But then we have another cool part at the end of the movie. The big fight against Darth Maul. First off, Darth Maul was a cool character. We don't really know anything about him, but he just looked cool. He had a cool lightsaber with 2 beams. But that fight was really cool. And then to culminate in like the death of Liam Neeson's character, that was probably the most powerful scene in the movie, and one of the only necessary scenes, and probably one of the few redeeming qualities of Star Wars Episode 7. Number 6, Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. So in this one, I am aware that Anakin gets very annoying, because he's in his like kind of teenage years, but this movie has probably one of, I think, the coolest moments in probably all the 3 movies. And once again, it's like right at the end. I mean, when they're on that planet and they're like sentenced to die and all 3 of them are hooked to those pillars, you're like, okay, like this is getting pretty good. And then they show the 3 monsters that are going to take them down. And one of these monsters look cool. They're all really different and they all act different. And then you just see them start like, oh God, like, we're never gonna make it. We gotta get out of here. And Anakin starts like freaking out and being like, Obi-Wan, we gotta save Padme. There's no way she's gonna get out of this. And then Padme is just freaking on the top of the pillar, already trying to escape, doing the best out of the 3 of them. So that was a great scene for Padme. But then like the whole fight with those 3 monsters, it's really cool. They all fight them in different ways. There's different ways to take them down. I really enjoyed that moment. And then right after that, you have the huge battle sequence where all of a sudden all these clones and droids come out. You see all these different Jedis that you've never seen before, all different aliens. If they just took that moment from that movie and just multiplied it by like 10, 100, 1,000, that probably would have rescued that movie. Number 5, Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. So, for many fans, this is the movie that is probably their favorite of the prequel trilogy. It does the most to set up the original trilogy. It makes you wonder why they made the other 2 movies. Now, there's still a host of problems with it, but there are some really cool moments there. For one thing, it's really cool to finally see the fight between Anakin and Obi-Wan, and to kind of see his transformation into Darth Vader. You can really see that like Obi-Wan really cared for Anakin and it's really hurting him, and that was really powerful to watch. And then right after the fight, to see him like lose all his limbs and he can't really like get out from the banks of the lava river, and he just start burning up, and it's hard to watch. And that was a really good moment. And then to follow it like immediately with his transformation into Darth Vader, you really see like the helmet being put together. You see him put it in his suit. Granted, they went a little too far with the that shortly followed. I mean, that was a little bit ridiculous. Number 4, Episode 6, Return of the Jedi. Now, this movie is probably my least favorite of the original trilogy. Main reason being, I don't like the Ewoks. I don't like how much they're in the movie. I don't like that they're pretty much the entire end of the movie while Luke is doing his thing. It's just, they kind of ruined it for me. I was really enjoying it up until then, and like any scene without them I was enjoying. But like every time you got back to them, I started liking the movie less and less. But this movie does have a lot going for it. Pretty much any scene centering around Jabba the Hutt was a fantastic scene. I mean, Jabba is just gross. He's just dirty and gross, and they do a great job portraying that. And like the whole Leia and Jabba feud, I mean, so Jabba of course is holding Han Solo, and you see him trying to barter with this bounty hunter trying to get some money, and the bounty hunter just wants Han, so he's offering however much money he offers. And then to find out that that's Leia, that's cool. Like, Leia is rescuing Han Solo, the coolest guy in the galaxy, and that's pretty neat. And then the fact that they're out in the desert and Leia's finally getting back at Jabba, and like she's choking him out with the chain, like that was really powerful, and probably like he was one of the coolest new characters in that franchise. Number 3, Episode 4, A New Hope. So because this is the very first movie that brought all of this, a lot of its best moments just happen from introducing these characters that we love. I mean, you have Han Solo in the cantina, you have C-3PO and R2-D2, you have Luke, you have Leia, like Darth Vader, when he first walks in, and he's just like mowing down people. Like, that is just, everyone had a cool reveal. It just filled you with this joy and wonder, and that's why everyone fell in love with this franchise. And then you have this other great scene where the 3 main characters, I mean, and Chewie, so 4, fall down into the trash compactor. And this is like the first real scene where they're really getting at each other because they're annoyed because they're about to lose their lives. And you really see like who each character is, and there's a lot of good chemistry there. Number 2, Episode 7, The Force Awakens. So I know this movie just came out, and some might think it's blasphemy to put it ahead of 2 of the original trilogy, but I really love this movie. Without spoiling anything for you, because I want you all to go see this movie is what it needed to be. It had been so long since we had Star Wars in the cinemas, and we had been hurt before with the prequels, And this movie did everything right to make us fall in love again. The feeling was there. These new characters are fantastic. Even in this age of where everything is made of CGI, and it's actually made with pretty good CGI, this movie uses so much practical effects, and that really works for it. I mean, even when they do use CGI on some of the characters, they're using motion capture and stuff, so the actors could actually act to it, and it made everything seem real and grounded, and that was just a comforting world, and you really want to just engross yourself in it. Number 1, Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back. So everyone has their own opinions for why they think their movie is the best of the original 3, but I really like this one because I think the pacing is just perfect. I mean, you've got action, you've got drama, you've got a love story, and they're all just perfectly paced throughout that movie. They're all intertwined, and it just works. Also, I mean, you've got Lando, who's probably the coolest character next to Han Solo. He's just suave. He has that mustache. He's just cool. And I don't even know how this one slipped my mind. The whole scene with Luke and Darth Vader, where he reveals that Darth Vader is Luke's father. That's probably one of the most iconic scenes in American cinema. It's just, there's a lot of powerful speech going on. Luke's reaction is so guttural. There's no way to look at that scene and think anything less than this is really important, this is really powerful, this is fantastic. So there you have it. That is my ranking of the Star Wars films. I'm sure a lot of you may disagree, and so please let me know what you think in the comments below. You can also find us on Twitter at NerdMuchCom. You can also find us on Facebook via the description below. I'd like to thank you all for joining us this week. See you next time. So now that most of you have already turned off the video, I can safely share one of my favorite moments of Star Wars Episode 7. I'm not really gonna say what it is because just in case any of you are watching, but I mean, just look at this and you'll know what I'm talking about.